Years ago, the kingfisher filled the sky, and its calls could be heard throughout the island. But for the past 25 years, zoos around the country have struggled to save the kingfisher from extinction. This beautiful bird weighs about 60 grams. It has a large head, long, sharp-pointed bill, short legs, and a stubby tail. It has turquoise blue wings and tail, and has an orange cinnamon-colored head and chest area. But the female has a white breast area. According to wildlife biologist Suzanne Medina, the female kingfisher is part of Guam's culture.
There's a legend, a Guam legend, about a young woman on Guam that was wearing a white apron at a time, and she ended up turning into the kingfisher.
There are currently 13 kingfishers on Guam. Medina hopes to expand their facility in Manilao, and they are requesting more funds from the Fish and Wildlife Services to build another 20 to 40 cages. She says they are lucky that all the bird recovery programs are covered under federal grants. Between the Endangered Species Section 6 money and the Wildlife Grant, they are able to build cages, provide food and incubators, and all the things needed to keep the kingfishers and the cocoa bird alive. This past spring, at Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago, a mated pair of kingfishers laid 2 fertilized eggs. The keeper stole one of the eggs away from its parents and placed it in an incubator where it was later hatched.
What happens with the kingfishers is when you have 2 eggs, only one chick survives. And we did have that happen one time at our facility. We had one chick hatch, and the chick actually destroyed its sibling before it even hatched. It destroyed the egg. So it was great to hear how they pulled the eggs, they pulled the second egg and actually placed it with the foster parent. And apparently they succeeded, and it's hopefully something we can try in the future here on Guam.
According to Medina, it's hard to say how long kingfishers live in the wild, but in captivity, some of them have been reported to live up to 18 years. In the 1990s, kingfishers in captivity around the U.S. mysteriously died between the 2 and 4-year-old range.
They haven't really pinpointed what that problem was. They think maybe it was a nutritional issue, and so one of our goals on Guam is to feed them a local diet, and so their diet consists mainly of geckos.
Counting the 2 chicks in Chicago, there's now currently 134 birds alive in this world.
The last time we had 134 kingfishers was back in the late 1970s, and it's a great number to have. Many kudos to the zoos. If they hadn't stepped in back in the 1980s to help save Guam's birds, we wouldn't have the kingfisher, the seahick, we wouldn't have the cocoa bird anymore.
What caused the kingfishers to be placed on the endangered species list?
If you look at the data that was collected back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, which include our surveys, our bird surveys that we normally do every year, and you can see where the snake came in around the southern part of the island, and at the same time the birds literally were disappearing as the snake moved up north, and it's pretty obvious. It's right there, the evidence that shows that it's the brown tree snake.
Medina hopes people take care of the island, and hopefully these birds will come back. She says, "We definitely want to have these birds flying around our island again." David Macaluso, PNC News.